guys, this is Simon from ClayClaim. Welcome to my next tutorial. Today we are going to create Spongebob Squarepants. Before we talk about the creation, there's a story behind this tutorial. There was one guy on my channel and he wrote nearly under each video in the comments, he wrote, "Please make SpongeBob, when will you make SpongeBob? Will you make SpongeBob this month?" I won't say any names, Brandon, but this tutorial is for you. And of course for all of you SpongeBob fans. Okay, let's talk about the creation. As you may have noticed, we need some yellow clay. And we start with a block with a square. And I added some dents to the edge. Okay, just make some tiny holes and we will fill these holes with a mixture of yellow, just a little bit of brown and just a little bit of green. And it gives that nicely SpongeBob pattern, which is widely known. After we have finished the square, the first thing we will start about the character are the eyes. So just make some dents for the eyeballs, cut away just some tiny pieces so that the eyes won't pop out that much. Next step is creating the iris. For the iris we need some bright blue clay. Just make two tiny balls. And of course a black dot right in the middle. And later we will finish that with transparent polish. The cheeks, very important for SpongeBob and very characteristic as well. And of course the nose right in position. A few days ago I talked with a friend of mine and he's such a big SpongeBob Squarepants fan, and he told me that the 7 main characters of this serial refer to the 7 deadly sins from the Bible. And well, I'm not that familiar with SpongeBob, but this funny fact made me very curious what these 7 deadly sins and the characters, well, what's that about? So, I did some internet research and I found a list. First, Sloth Patrick. Sloth is the sin of laziness or unwillingness to act. And well, there's only one character which fits perfectly to this sin, Patrick. Before talking about the other sins, let's go back to the creation. Just added the tongue. I really messed on the mouth as I completely left out the teeth. I will add them later. But well, if you want, you can add them right now. It works both. Just for the eyelids, placing the tiny hairs, 3 on each side. And really try to make them as thin as possible. For the arms, well, normally I use a very thick aluminum wire, but as the arms and legs of SpongeBob are that thin, we have to take an even more thinner wire. As one rope is not strong enough to hold the clay in position, I used 2 and I tried to bend them together, and that worked fine. Okay, back to the 7 deadly sins. Number 2, wrath. Wrath involves feelings of hatred and anger, and there's one character which perfectly fits. It's Squidward. He hates his life, usually hates SpongeBob, and is pretty much very angry most of the time. Number 3, greed. Who is greedy? It's Mr. Krabs, of course. He actually sang about the power of greed in Selling Out. There's one episode. I haven't seen it, but my friend told me about that. Let's jump back to the creation. Just added the hands. This was pretty difficult as the hands are so tiny. Yeah. The other hand on the other arm will even be more difficult, as my creation, my SpongeBob, will have a fishing net in his hand to catch all these jellyfish. I think this part is the most tricky part of the whole tutorial. I wanted to make the arm and also the fishing net right out of one piece, using one rope of aluminum wire, that the whole structure is stable enough. Just adding the hand, and it looks pretty nice, I think. Okay, what about number 4? Envy Plankton. Plankton is envious of Mr. Krabs because the Krusty Krab is such successful while the cum bucket is a failure. And his envy drives him to try to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. Okay, now the arms are in position, and I decided to change the fishing net again. So I will cut away the upper part, where later we will put the net itself. I have a nice solution, I found a nice solution for the net, but you will see that in a minute. Okay, the arms are in position and finished. What is next? Next we will create all the details on the front part. For the shirt, for example. And of course, the characteristic red tie. Number 5 on our list of the 7 deadly sins in SpongeBob characters is gluttony. Gluttony Gary. This one is pretty funny, as they always say in the show, don't forget to feed Gary, or Sponge says, I got to go feed Gary. Don't forget to make the belt. I'm just using very thin layer of black clay. And it goes all around, so don't forget to make the side and the back as well. Okay, what's number 6? Pride Sandy. Well, Sandy takes a lot of pride in who she is and where she comes from. And well, this is the most obvious sin, I think. And number 7, I will talk about that in a minute. First, let's focus on the legs, as these are very difficult to create. I decided to put the whole creation, the whole SpongeBob, onto some kind of stand. A green stand that it looks like if SpongeBob is running in his environment. Just creating the shoes. And I also decided to make the sole of these shoes out of gray clay. Just place them onto that very thin slice of clay and just cut away all the clay you won't need. Okay, and now we have to put everything together. Okay, what about number 7? It's of course about SpongeBob, and the last but not least deadly sin we have forgotten so far is lust. Lust SpongeBob. It's a bit weird and curious, but let's give it a thought. Lust, in one definition, is excessive love of others. And when you think about it, SpongeBob is that kind of person who loves everyone around him, even those who don't exactly love him back. Yeah, that's it. Now we got all of these 7 deadly sins. Let me know what you think about these and write in the comments. Let's go back to our creation. We're almost done. Right now we have to place everything onto the stand, which will be pretty difficult until the clay isn't hard enough to be strong to keep everything in position. So I tried to build another stand for the back side. Well, and that's it. Now we are ready to go into the oven. Woohoo! Here we go. Yeah, I used some toilet paper to fix the whole structure. And now we can make the finish. First, let's start using the transparent polish for the eyes, and it really makes the figure alive, as the eyes are shining and glowing. Also some transparent polish for the tongue. After that, you notice I did some scratches on the green stand. And now let's create the fish net. I used some parts of an old swimming trunks. If you don't have one, you can also use some bandage. It's even more detailed from the net itself. Try to cut a round piece out of your old swimming trunks. And after that we will glue everything onto the wooden part of the fishing net. Well, it's not that easy, but well, it's worth it. Almost done. I'm using super glue for all these gluing action. It's very fast drying and the perfect tool for all of these kind of works. Okay, what is next? I bought some new pens and the socks of SpongeBob has these 3 lines, colored lines. There's black, blue and red. Just be careful while painting. The other leg as well, or the other sock. And last but not least, the red pen, which we will also use for the cheeks. Almost forgot these dots in the face. Okay, the teeth. I talked about that earlier. I completely forgot them. And so we have to glue them right in position after SpongeBob was in the oven. Okay, we are done. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah! We are done. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial of Spongebob Squarepants, especially you, Brandon. I had a lot of fun creating this tiny, detailed figure. Please let me know what you think about it and write it in the comments. If you're interested in another underwater themed character, this is Dory from Finding Dory. Just click here. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Bye.